Good morning, everybody. Christopher from Student Education with my analysis this morning, looking at the matrix for Thursday, the 21st of March 2019. Hi, everybody. Okay, so in front of me I have the matrix, which is part of the FX Ultimate template that we teach at Student Education. And this is our end of the line, the top end bit of the FX Ultimate template. And we use this to give us an understanding of what price is doing on the chart at any one time. So if we're looking for strong trends, we need to see color varying throughout the time frames, i.e. from the left hand side monthly right down to our 5 minutes on the right hand side. And you can see that's plotted over here. So what we tend to use this is to indicate direction, and do we have continuation of direction or trend direction. So if we look at the matrix over here, you'll notice that it's color coded, so we have blue for positiveness and red for negativity. So what we're looking for is for a consistent color throughout the time frames. So if you look over here, we have New Zealand CAD, which is predominantly blue. The problem over here we have from the 1 hour lower is the MACD, or momentum in this case, is clearly not in favor of that continuation of buying in this case. Vice versa, Australian New Zealand dollar, we have a lot of negativity. However, the MACD on the lower time frames is blue, which indicates that there is clearly no continuation of that selling momentum that we're seeing on the larger picture. So we use this as a tool. So these two particular pairs of what I could do is I could open them up, go down to the 1 hour time frame on both these charts, and then draw a line in the sand to say, okay, great, you need to get above this point. We need to see the MACD reflecting that positive in the stance over here. New Zealand CAD moving high, we need to see that playing. So if I go to the New Zealand CAD, just to show you that, give you an example. So over there we go, the New Zealand CAD. This is a naked chart. You can clearly see on the hard right edge, we can see this month is looking very, very strong. We have a ceiling level over here that we saw towards the latter part of last year that we need to be aware of. You can see that price has been falling over the years, so we have a swing low mechanism. Price is currently testing that swing low, which is this level over here that we saw recently, this level here. Okay, you can have a swing low. Now we get a swing high, we're likely breaking this downtrend, which means that eventually, if we break that level here, this could be our first initial target, second target, and ultimately third target, and all the way up for the remainder of the year. So looking ahead into 2019, that's what we're looking for. So if I get rid of all that, apply my FX Ultimate template to this chart now, and drive low. So straight away over here, there we go. There's a matrix I showed you, which was part of the initial setup. You can see that from the 1 hour lower, the MACD is not in favor. That means that there's obviously clearly resistance above price, but that would then potentially be the reason why we have the ceiling level above price currently over here. So now you'll notice that line I mentioned to you before on the naked chart, that level there is a concern, because we saw the November, December, January failing to make new highs at this particular point. So there's clearly a resistance level here. Notice my pivot lines, my daily pivot, my weekly pivot, my monthly pivot, or especially my weekly and daily, are that ceiling. The monthly is below price. I have a blue arrow, candlesticks are blue, the 20, the 50 and the institution are all below price. The RMO is strong, OSMO is strong, all looking good. My only concern is this resistance level that we've had here for since 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive months now. So we've got 4 months of resistance at the same point. So that becomes a issue. So I've got to be cautious here. That's the reason why we're probably getting all this uncertainty unfolding on the intraday time frame. So let's drop down to the weekly time frame. We should get a buy signal. There we go. Positive, Bosch, all looking good. Now you can clearly see that over time we have that resistance. Okay, I'm just going to use a line just to indicate that and just pull out. You can see that since March of last year, resistance through the latter part of 2018. We had November, December resistance, and you can see over here on the hard right edge, we're trading back into this area. Get above that area, we can see cleaner air. Okay, certainly to that particular point over there, which will be our long-term target. As I mentioned to you before, if we just zoom out now, you can see that downtrend. There we go. So now we're at that particular point over here. Swing low, swing high now. So what we need to see on the hard right edge is, if this is to be a positive continuation, we need to see that all-important arrow, yes, which is blue, candlesticks, which is currently blue, perfect, RMO, which is strong, and the OSMO is gaining strength, perfect. Okay, the color of the candlesticks, look at last week's candle was an indecision candle. Okay, doji, not good. So an indecision candle, we need to see a decision candle to follow. Currently we are seeing a bull candle moving high. That's what we want to see. Look at what happened before at the same point. We saw red candles. Okay, here was blue but indecision, spinning top. Here we had red candles, shooting stars, which is exhaustion. Here we have indecision but a bull candle. So this week In the next 2 days, I need to see this candle closing higher than it currently is, driving higher than the monthly R2 to reiterate that I have continuation of the bullish underlying sentiment, because we've come from a low point, we've driven high into resistance, we've pulled back, we've bided our time, now we're seeing another push high. That push high has now got to close higher than this previous resistance level to reiterate continuation. And if we do get a continuation above that point, then we can start saying, well, great, price has moved so much previously that we can then apply that from here. So that would be this, that would be that. That distance would be the same as that. Okay, so the importance is this week looking for the continuation to unfold, looking for this week to close above that monthly R2 level, which will then really indicate that we are likely to see continuation in the weeks, if not the months ahead. Perfect, less risk, okay, more probability, therefore far better for our money management rules, and then we can look up confidently to the upside. The other one, Australian New Zealand dollar, predominantly red, however the intraday is positive, so therefore if I'm looking for selling, I can't have the MACD blue, it's got to be red. So if let's call that one up, Australian New Zealand dollar. Let's look for the Australian New Zealand dollar. Where are you? There you are. Okay, apply my FX Ultimate to this. Okay, straight away I get a sell signal. Perfect. Okay, that's predominantly what we see on the hard right edge. You can see that we have the all-important setup for this. We have on our monthly, we have the red arrow, the candlesticks are red, RMOs red, OSMAs red, and getting stronger. My moving averages, my 200, my 50, and my 20 are all above price, which is a negative sign. So it's indicating that I should be looking for selling. Happy days. But now, look what's happened over this part over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Price has failed to make a new low beyond this point. Okay, so I'm trading into a very strong support level. Okay, so therefore, I don't want to be trying to sell something aggressively if there's a potential for price then to always correct at the same point. We've seen it happen over multiple years. Okay, so what I need to see is for continuation of price to the downside for the remainder of this month, and if I can get a nice monthly candle close low with a lot more sentiment behind it. You can see the candlesticks are very small compared to previous months where we had a lot more volume in the market. Volatility, you can see we're starting to see a lot of hesitation. And that hesitation is primarily because of where we're trading right now on the long-term scale. So here again, if we want to change that mindset, we need to see a strong statement candle from the market. If I just pan out, you'll see that we had even further hesitation at this particular point, going as far back as 2005. Okay, so this is a 15-year low that we're trading into at the moment now. Okay, so we have to be vigilant. Okay, our mindset is still to continue to look to sell, but we just need to be aware that we're trading at a long-term support and resistance level. So there again, you've got to be super aggressive in terms of entry, super aggressive in terms of take profit levels, super aggressive in terms of stop placements, and understand that you might be trading with an adverse risk reward because you're trading in an area where there's a lot of uncertainty. Drop down to the weekly time frame. Straight away, we get a sell signal. Okay, we still have that red arrow. You can use my crown here. Red arrow. The candlesticks are still red. The RMO is still red and getting strong, and the OSMA is below the midline, but however it's dark at the moment now. But if you look at last week's candle, we have a hammer, indecision candle. Okay, it's almost like a dragonfly doji. Okay, so we are seeing indecision here. We see the weekly and the daily pivot are below price currently. The monthly pivot is still above price, which is good. But if we're looking to sell, we need to see price trading below the monthly pivot to tell us that we're trading lower than last month's close. We need to be trading lower than last week's close, so therefore the weekly pivot should be above price. And also, if we're seeing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday continue that selling sentiment that we currently see on the matrix, we need to see price trading below the daily pivot, i.e. yesterday's close is lower than the previous day's close. Currently, if you look at it, if I zoom in, you'll see that price is just trading below that particular point. If I drop down to the daily, just to show that, you can see at the moment now, yeah, she's actually not made new lows compared to yesterday's close. In actual fact, she's now moving high again. Notice we haven't closed lower than the low we saw last week. Okay, so that's a concern. Okay, so we've seen this week, that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week. That's Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday of last week. So we're trading into the Tuesday, Wednesday low of last week. We're not being able to close below that. That's a concern, because if you're looking for continuation, Okay, swing low, swing low, swing low with direction. We need to be making a new low. We currently have not made a new low this week, and that's a concern. So draw your line in the sand and say, great, this week I need to see price trading below my weekly S1, first and foremost, and get a close below that level with strength to then look to trade down to my monthly S2, which is my weekly S2, as my first initial target. And you're looking in excess of 37 pips. So you're doing a lot of work for a very small return on time invested, because by the time you take your spread off and look for the close of the candle to iterate that there's a continuation, it might have eaten into all 30 pips of that. So it's another reason why we're starting to see apprehension, uncertainty, contraction of price action movement because of the long-term picture, that monthly time frame. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so I've just shown you two examples how the matrix can help guide us of potential opportunities, but there again, by doing your analysis and looking at the picture in more detail, you'll see that these two particular pairs have opportunities if we do get a continuation of the current trend. We aren't seeing that currently on the intraday time frames, and that's the reason why the matrix is not giving us that sentiment. And that's the beauty of the template. It's indicating that yes, we have a positive trend, yes, we have a negative trend, but we don't have continuation of both those bias currently on the intraday time frames. So therefore, I need to draw a line in the sand and say, great, trigger alert, get below that, I get a trigger, I know that I'm getting continuation of either the buying sentiment or selling sentiment, then I'll look towards my money management to see if it's viable, and then I can apply a trade to those particular pairs. Otherwise, if you don't get a trigger, it doesn't close higher or lower, depending on which pair you're looking at, there's no trade opportunity. Look elsewhere for another opportunity. I hope it helps, guys. Take care.